And here I am. I checked my mic this time to make sure that the setting didn't switch itself again. And I was lucky it did not. So, hey, you guys, welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday, where we usually do this show on Tuesdays, but something happened. And the woman who puts it together, my lovely cousin Candace, was unable to fulfill her duties. So we had to push it off till today. But yeah, everybody who read what I posted, raggedy boyfriend, I swear, this man, okay, you are too old to be on a motorcycle. I told him to get him one of them tricycle kind that look like a big wheel and ride that because then he can't flip it over. So he's not talking to me right now, but that's okay. I was just, I'm just worried for his safety because, now he's up there with a broken leg, 70 years old. What you doing? I mean, he looks young. You wouldn't know he was 70. Don't get me wrong. It's like he's looking all decrepit or nothing. But, still, you're 70 years old. Your bones are 70 years old. You don't need to be breaking any of them. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, what we do here on Tuesdays is go over some pre-submitted advice questions. So if you came thinking that you're going to get an advice question answered here on the show, that's not going to happen. You need to look in the show description down below and submit your question in for inclusion in a upcoming show. We do those sometimes, but that's not tonight. And everybody in the chat room, all the usual suspects are here. Thanks for showing up. And be sure to hit that like button and share a link if you get a chance. Let people know what's going on over here. So let's see. I'm sure we have 22 questions again because that seems to be her new normal. Ooh, that one looks long. Yep, 22. So you guys ready? Let's go. Let's go. Question number 1. Female, 21 to 29 from Plano, Texas. Ooh, I don't think we've ever done a letter from Plano. So I went out with this guy back in June. We'd already known each other for a few months. He was very sweet, but came on extremely strong almost right away, telling me he'd do anything for me and essentially just making me feel like I was on a pedestal, and I can't stand that feeling. He was a bit of a heavy drinker too, so ultimately I called it off because of all these things combined, and also for the simple fact that I realized I just didn't have a strong romantic attraction to him. I haven't seen or talked to him since. Okay, so that was June. I know he watches my social media stories, though, because sometimes he'll send me random messages in response to them. Always late at night, so I don't want to assume it's after he's been drinking, but seems likely. I never respond. Anyways, I woke up on Saturday and I have a DM from him, and it says, not even kidding, why wasn't I good enough? I don't understand. At first, I was just in disbelief, and then I got annoyed, and now I'm a little mad about it. When I ended things with him, I tried to be kind and essentially just said I wasn't feeling it and didn't want to force something, and that I just wasn't connecting with him in the way I wanted to. So why is he coming at me now, months later, with something like that? It makes me almost want to call him out about it. Is it better to just let this go, or should I say something? I just don't feel like it's okay to send one something passive aggressive like that months after you stopped dating and only had a handful of days to begin with. Or maybe I'm in the wrong here for feeling so irritated. He absolutely entitled to feel how he feels. It just rubbed me the wrong way. No, you're entitled to feel how you feel too. See, so this is a two-way street. And you are a very nice person, because had he sent me a DM like that, you know what he would have got back? You ain't. And that would have been that. Just like, why wasn't I good enough? Because you're not. Like, do you want details? Do you want me to tell you all the kind of ways that you're all fucked up? Is that what you want? So, let me sit down and cross my legs and give me a glass of wine and make get ready to make my home. Because I'm going to read you like a book. You trifling piece of shit. You ain't nothing. You're an alcoholic. You're a drunk. And you stupid. You come on too strong. You make promises and play all that future talk. You're a narcissist. You trying to love bomb me and think you're going to get in my panties. I know better, fool. He would have heard stuff like that. And so it's like, ugh, just go away. Don't nobody want to be bothered with you, sir. So anyway, yes, you were very nice to him, and I understand you being irritated, but attention is what he wants. So deny it. Now that you know he can slide into your DMs, block him. Why don't you guys block these dudes after you break up with them? You're supposed to delete and block. It's a two-step process so that you don't have to be bothered with stuff like this. So now you are mad about it and stuff, but you could have prevented all of this by just blocking him after you said you wasn't going to talk to him no more. Oh, you like me in red? This top is actually It's got stripes on it. It's red at the top. I'm like, this dude. Mm-mm. Let's move on to question number 2. Female, 37 to 45, out of Florida. Hi, Deb. I discovered your YouTube channel and advice column a couple of months ago, and I absolutely love your personality and no holds barred way of speaking your mind. That being said, I wanted to get your opinion on something if you don't mind. A few months ago, I was watching a court TV show where a woman was suing an ex boyfriend for thousands of dollars back in loans that she had extended to him during the course of their relationship. This greatly disturbed me because all the money seemed to be going one way from her to him. I then went to the comment section and posted that I'm so thankful that my husband has never asked me for a dime of money, even while we were dating, and that he pays all our bills with no financial contribution from me, even though I have built up quite a large nest egg in savings in my 401k before we married. My husband told me he proposed that he wanted a traditional marriage with him providing and me taking care of the home and the family, so I was more than happy to oblige. Deb, in 13 years, I have never regretted my decision to quit my job and be a homemaker because my complete focus has been on caring for my husband and boys since my husband is such a great provider. He makes more than enough money to lavishly support his family. I was truly blessed with a terrific man, and I bragged about it because most men of today equal financial expect rather equal financial contribution from women when dating and in relationships, but don't contribute equally when it comes to domestic responsibilities and child rearing. However, I was attacked for saying this on YouTube by other women, calling me high maintenance, selfish, pathetic, and a whole host of other nasty names because I don't help pay bills. Never mind that I keep a large home clean, cook, care for 2 very active boys, and volunteer at the hospital to make sure all my husband's needs are met. That didn't seem to matter. I think they're just jealous because their boyfriends or husbands won't do the same for them. I'm shocked at the backlash that I received for being a traditional wife with a providing husband. What do you think? Am I selfish and high maintenance for not contributing financially? Thank you in advance for your opinion. No, you're not. That's the kind of wife he wanted. That's the kind of husband you wanted, and y'all luckily have found each other. That's what's so great about women's liberation. It gives women the options to choose that or not. Before, a lot of women didn't have that choice. You was just a housewife. You were expected, it was demanded of you to stop working and be at home if you didn't have any children. You were just stuck in the house. Like that's why they called it a housewife because you was wife to the house. But the only thing I can say is that they were perhaps somewhat offended by the fact that you came into a thread where people were talking, it was about someone who had done something silly and you didn't talk about that. What you did was get on there and leap in and start crowing about your situation. It was inappropriate. And that's why you got dogged and dragged. That what you did, I mean, it's great that you have all of that and this and that, but in that environment, that was not the place to talk about that. You should have stuck to the topic, which was how this woman was treated. When you come in with your stuff, well, I'm glad that wasn't me because, my husband does this and that. And I don't have to do it. And so it's like you're putting down the women who do have to do those things, and you're especially comparing yourself and trying to make yourself feel better, like you're better than these, and that's how people are going to take it. I'm sorry, but it's like if I saw somebody doing something like that in a thread of this topic, this subject matter, that's what I would think. I mean, I wouldn't get upset about it and stuff, but that's what I would think about you. That you just want to come in there and show everybody that you better than them and did all this other stuff. You don't need to talk about that kind of stuff to strangers. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's concern. That's between you and your husband. So when you're dealing with other women and other people on these internets, what you got at your house and what you doing with your man is irrelevant. Don't even bring it up. You are supposed to talk about the situation here, not start bragging about what you got. You see what I mean? So you didn't even talk about the subject at all. You derailed and went off into your own tangent. And that, like on my walls and stuff and my Facebook page and stuff, that gets stuff folks kicked off and blocked. Yeah. That's not how you do things. And some other women might have wanted that lifestyle too, and you never know what happened because stuff just happens. So be careful with that kind of stuff. You don't want to be offending people by bragging about what you got because it's really, like I always tell people, it's nobody's business but yours what you got. Okay? So might be mindful of that. Question number 3, female 30 to 36 out of Boston. Good evening, Deb. My friend, let's call her Anita, and I met 5 years ago. Anita is kind and have good manners. However, her children are rude and disrespectful. We both have 15-year-old daughters. Anita's 15-year-old does odd things toward my daughter. For example, whenever other children are around them, Anita's daughter will ignore my daughter like she doesn't even exist. My daughter tells me it doesn't bother her, but I know it does. I can see the sadness in her face and eyes. I also want to add, and she put these like in asterisks, like in the middle, like I guess trying to block it off. I want to add the other children have no influence on how she, the 15-year-old, is towards my daughter. I've observed this. This is 100% Anita's daughter's personality. My daughter have not done anything to trigger behavior like that toward her. I investigated that myself as well. Okay, so now back to the letter. I brought this issue to Anita. She and I talked to both of the girls about it. Talking to Anita's daughter didn't work. Her daughter never changed her behavior towards mine. Therefore, I stopped the visits and outings and stopped accepting birthday invitations for her children. Anita and I are still friendly, but my daughter will not go anywhere near her 15-year-old. So I asked, what would you do in a situation like this? It's just what you did, except I would have skipped the conversation part. Because you know what? The girl, little bitch ass girl knows what she's doing, and her bitch ass mama knows what she's doing too. And the mother saying, just sitting there, placating you, having a quote talk about it. That's not how you do your 15-year-olds. You say, when people come to this house and we have company, you going to act like you have some home training and stuff. But guess what? Your phone and everything else that I bought you is going because you don't appreciate it, you little ungrateful wretch. So you're not going to be embarrassing me like that. That's not how we treat people who are guests in our home. See, that's how her mother should have talked to her. And it's like, this is unacceptable. I don't give a fuck if you got to pretend and put on a false face. When we have company, you're going to treat people the way I expect you to treat them. Now, when you get grown and you get out of my house, you can do whatever the hell you want to. But as long as I'm feeding you and clothing you and paying the bills and putting the roof over your head, then you're going to do stuff my way. And anytime you don't like it, there's a door you can get out. So those are your two choices. You either do what I tell you to do or you get the fuck out of my house. Now you 15 and think you know everything. Choose that option and poof, be gone. And you think I would stop her? I'm telling you guys, I'm so stubborn. I just don't care. You're going to do what I tell you to do. One thing I refuse to have is a child that embarrasses me. Now, I tell you, my daughter could tell you some stories about some stuff when I went to her. It's like, you want to embarrass? Let me show you how to embarrass somebody. And I went to her school and performed like I was in the Ringling Brothers Circus. But it's like, no, we're not going to have that. So what you did to, separate your daughter from the situation, someone who's toxic to her, who's trying to ruin her self-esteem and bully her and all the stuff this girl was doing was exactly what you were supposed to do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know how you can be friends with a mother who has her kids are like that. Because I mean, you might be seeing that the woman is nice and stuff from your perspective, but she's got some issues. She's got issues. And I can't be friends with somebody who's that vastly different. Um, who's that vastly different from me in outlook like that where we're going to have our children around each other because you got to be on the same page with your parenting style when you have people. Now you're going to be babysitting each other's kids and being around each other's kids and stuff. If you tell somebody the kids to stop, it don't matter if it's your kid or your friend's kid, they're going to do it because you're an authority figure and they respect that. So you don't have someone who has that kind of mindset and just let their kids run buck wild. That influence is going to spill over into your children eventually. So luckily for you, you saw the handwriting on the wall and you got your daughter up out of there, and that's what you were supposed to do. Yes, honey, I'm telling you, Diana, with the red nose and everything, you know how I do it. Red nose, my clown shoes, all of that. All right, let's move on to question number 4. This is from a female, 37 to 45 age group out of Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Deb. I need your advice. We've been together for 6 years. We're not married, and for lots of business and financial reasons, we are not going to get legally married. He's a few years older than me, so retirement is only a few years away. He's excited and has been looking at, quote, dream retirement homes and goals, end quote, so we can start to make plans. He sees me in all of his plans and dreams and wants me to be a part of the planning process. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. I just can't get into it. Every time he brings something up, I silently panic inside. Today he asked me to go see a custom home to see if I had things, if it had the things I've always dreamed about, walk-in closet, an actual laundry room rather than units in the garage, that sort of thing. I said, no thanks. His face dropped and he looked really sad. I said, we were still a few years away and I didn't feel ready to look at a custom home. He could tell I was hiding something. He said, what's wrong? Don't you see us retiring together? Don't you want a future together? I have always been the planner in our relationship. He rarely plans, so the roles are reversed on this. I do see us growing old together, but for some reason I'm scared to make plans. It's like there's something holding me back from believing that this is all going to work out. So I don't want to dream big or plan anything. Is this odd? Shouldn't we be planning our retirement together and making arrangements? Why am I being a total spaz? How can I get to the bottom of whatever this is before I ruin a good thing with a decent man? Well, I have two minds. One is that, you just really just don't feel ready for that kind of step. You know, you might at the end of the year or next year, but I mean, dude is like going full throttle right now, and you just need time to warm up to the idea that this is going to be your life. Now, what you failed to do is say, he's older than you and retirement's just a few years away. But I mean, how many years over you? You know what I mean? You didn't say what his age was. So I mean, what are we talking about? 10 years, 5 years, 20 years? I mean, what? You didn't say. So it leaves me with a big question mark on where you are in life as compared to him. He's at the getting ready to shut down and go into retirement. Well, I mean, maybe you still have 15 or 18 years in the workforce and you're not ready for that yet. Being stuck in the house looking at some old man in retirement. But I would say, you need to sit down because you're just running on emotions right now. Stop. Sit down and get still and think about what feelings you're having when he's saying these things. Don't run from it. Embrace it and really get to the bottom of it. That's the only way you're going to figure this out. You keep running from it and, dodging it and just shutting down like that. That's not going to help you. Another thing I'm concerned about is this phrase here. You said you've always been the planner. That means you were always in control. Now that he's doing something that's not under your control, you don't know what to do with it. You all going crazy, losing your mind, spazzing, as you call it, because you feel out of sorts because you're not the one running the show. That's also something to think about. So all in all, you don't have to make any decision now. Just tell them that, it was a lot for you to take in. It was so sudden and you need a little time to adjust to the idea. That will buy yourself some time and where you do these exercises and figure out what's really going on with you. Because, I mean, maybe you just feel like he's too old and you just don't want to be bothered with him no more. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes it's just like that, and you just come to the realization when they start putting the pressure on you to be with them and you realize, motherfucker, your ass is old. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do that. Question number 5, female 30 to 36 out of Baltimore. I'm seeking some perspective and advice. For the last 3 months, I've been dating a great guy that I met online. We go on dates almost every weekend, spend each night video chatting, and text each other throughout the day. Our time together is usually simple, but the energy and the vibe are fun. We have also been intimate, and it's great. This is the first time I've ever met someone who matches my energy so well and allows me to completely be myself without judgment. Yes, those are the best. It's also the first time in a while that someone consistently shows me how much they appreciate me. So what's the catch, you ask? Well, a single woman with no kids. He, on the other hand, has a set of 3-year-old twins. I've given the idea of an exclusive relationship with him a lot of thought, and I feel ready and willing. I want to build with him, and I've voiced that. However, he says he's not sure yet. His reasoning is that he has his career and his kids, with the latter being his biggest responsibility. He's not sure how he'll be able to balance the relationship. So wait a minute. 3 months. Okay, he sees you all this time, but he's not in a relationship. Okay, got it. I just wanted to double check. He split. Additionally, if we pursued something, it would be his first relationship since breaking up with his kid's mom 2 years ago. I feel like he's worried as to how things may go with her. I have voiced that I'm willing to be supportive and go through the motions together. I also mentioned I'm open to the idea of meeting his kid's mother. I can see myself having an active, loving, and supportive role in their lives. He says he needs time for us to enjoy the moment. For me, I feel like he could at least make take a chance. We don't have to meet family and friends immediately, and we're not planning a wedding, but let's build an exclusive relationship. And if things progress to a more serious level, then when he's ready, we can reconsider those situations. I told him that eventually he would have to make a decision because if not, I eventually pull back on our time and eggplant. I feel like there are other men out there that would skip a beat to be with me. I'm still actively dating, but we spend the most time together. I don't want to give him the ultimatum as I think he has a lot more to consider, but at what point is it fair to say, what are we? Or have you decided? Thanks in advance, Auntie Deb. Oh, you're going about this the wrong way. You can look at all the pressure you putting on this man after only 3 months of knowing him. I want to meet your baby mama. I want to, I want to have something, permanent and serious. And I want to, I can see myself being in the kids' lives that you haven't even met yet. 3-year-olds can be serious brats. And you don't know how they mamas raising them, what kind of spoiled brats they might be, crazy. Do they have issues like autism or something? You don't know nothing. But here you are trying to sign a blank check. That's not how you do things. You need to back off. Make sure you date other people. Don't spend no more time with him than you spend with anybody else because you're getting too caught up. And one thing you do not ever do is ask a man, what are we? What are you, two? Well, you got to ask somebody for permission. What game are we playing? You asking him to give you a script? That's not how grown women handle themselves. You don't ask him shit, you tell him. You say, look, this is what I want. Are you going to give it to me? And if he says no, then you say, okay, bye. And then you leave him alone. That's how you do things. You don't ever ask men what they want. You don't give a fuck what they want. You going after what you want. Remember? That whole series, 3 videos. You don't worry about them and what they like. They like whatever you give them. And if they don't like it, then they can hit the dusty trail. I'm just like, this is just too much. For 3 months in, this is a lot. This is a lot. And you talking about, you're going to threaten him, talking about, I'll, pull back. You're not supposed to say that. You just do it. You're handling this all wrong. How are you? How old are you again? I can forget. 30 to 36. You're a little old for this, don't you think? Come on now. You got to G up and stop looking for him for approval. Yeah, up to 3 months. She's trying to be in his life and be his second baby mama and all kind of stuff is going on. I would be running from you too. And dude already told you he's not ready for a relationship. You know what that means? That means he's not either not ready for one and just want to fuck around, or he's not ready to have one with you. Either way, that means that what you're looking for is not going to happen. Okay? So stop wasting your time and breath. It's time to move on. Question number 6, female 21 to 26 out of San Diego. My female friend just started dating a dude. She introduced me to him and we all started hanging out. I was happy for her and I thought the guy was great for her. Then the guy started telling me things like I am better than her in front of her. What? But I didn't read too much into it and took it as a joke. No, you're dumb. That's never a joke. Then he wanted to go to my place. He wanted that they go to my place, but I didn't want to. I know my friend isn't into threesome, so it wasn't about that. I assumed he just wanted us to hang out at my house. Then he's texting me about how I should have asked him to help me with my moving. Like that's an excuse so he could leave her while we were all hanging out. I'm rusty in dating, but I am not interested in him. I don't want any trouble. Is he hitting on me or what? Should I say something to my friend? No, but what you should do is stop all this hanging out. 2 is a couple and 3 is a crowd. Haven't you ever heard that phrase before? They want you to go someplace with them. Decline. I have something to do. I have a date. I got to work. I'm going to see my mama. Whatever it is, lie if you have to. But you just, go somewhere else so that you're not at your house in case they decide to show up over there. And just make yourself scarce. This guy is very rude and he's abusive to your friend. And if she doesn't see that, you telling her is not going to do anything. It's just going to make her have an opportunity to vent her negative feelings on you, like you've done something wrong. Yeah. Oh, don't tell you, let some dude I'm with start telling some woman, one of my friends, that she's better than me. I would cuss his ass out. He wouldn't have to worry about it. And then I would be done with him on the spot. Just right then, right there. I'm not going to sit there and take that. And just be still calling myself dating a man who said some crap like that. You young girls, you guys got some different ideas. Question number 7. This is from a female in the 30 to 36 age group out of California. Hi, Deb. I'm addicted to your What the Fuck Tuesdays. I'm a black woman, Somali, who's being harassed at work by a black American male. Oh, a Dusty. A couple of months ago, he found out that my husband is white. He saw him when he came to pick me up from work. This black male has 2 kids by 2 different white females, but is harassing me for being married to a white man. He tells me it's a waste of my beauty not to produce black children, or why am I sleeping with the oppressor, even though he's also sleeping with the oppressor. He sexually harasses me by telling me, you smell like you like that small peen, don't you? Wow. You let somebody talk to you like that? I'll be quitting my job in 6 months because I'm pregnant and will be transitioning into a stay-at-home mom. What should I do in the meantime to get him off my back? I would have reported him and gotten him fired if I was going to stay there, but what if he ends up harassing other black women who come after me? Currently, I'm the only black woman at the company. Thanks, and I love you. So, of course, you are. And of course, he would come after you because they always do that with black women because they feel like they own us and that they can talk to us any old kind of way. So, even though you say you're only going to be there 6 months, you're going to try to endure this for 6 more months? Somebody talking to you like that? No, you take your little pregnant ass immediately into HR tomorrow and you share the things that this man has been doing and saying to you. And then you say, I don't want him to talk to me. I want him to leave me alone. And yes, even though I will be going out on maternity leave, during the time that I'm still here, I want him to leave me alone. He's upsetting me. If something happens to me and something happens to my baby because of him, I'm going to sue everybody in this bitch. See, so you got to scare them to if they start giving you any kind of back talk, then that's what you say. And then you be like, no, you need to do something about him. This is totally inappropriate. It's straight up sexual harassment. It's racism, prejudice, all kinds of stuff. I can entitled to marry who I want to. He has no right to tell me who I should be married to. What, are you kidding me right now? But you good because I would have cussed him out, said something. But that's why I don't have a white husband because they be like, oh no, she's too terrible for me. But nope, he would have had to get cussed out. It's talking about you like this, the small. Well, it might be small, but it does what it's supposed to do. And the main thing is, it's not yours. Nobody want no ashy nigga dick. Okay, that's why I chose him. Cause all you have is nasty, disease-ridden community dick, and ain't nobody trying to be bothered with you, nigga. Get out of my face. So see, he's talking on the under to you. I would have said some shit like that to him. And what's he gonna say? Run the HR. She cussed me out and told me that I was ashy and a nigga. I would have said, no, I didn't. But let me tell you what he did. I didn't say that. I was just sitting there stunned because he told me this and that. Who you think they gonna believe? Especially since he started it. They just harass women, period. If you any kind of black woman or woman of color, here they are in your face talking shit. That's why you got to get a sharp tongue. You know what I mean? That's right, Angelica. And then I don't even miss a beat when I tell them about themselves. Nasty freak. Question number 8, male, 37 to 45 out of the UK. My son, who is just 10 years old, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 7. He took on it and learned to deal with it, even though he sometimes asked me, when is it going to go away? Oh, my wife and I were going through an awful phase trying to adapt to our new normal and working together to make sure he lives a healthy and happy life like any other kid his age. My stepdaughter, who is 15, moved in with us 6 months ago after her dad got married. From day one, she treated me like trash. She's angry all the time and takes it out on my son. She tire him with hard tasks and give him unhealthy snacks, even though she's well aware of his condition. No, that makes his blood down. Last week on Sunday before dinner, I went over to the cabinet to prepare his insulin shot, but didn't find the bottle nor the syringe pack. I recall buying a dozen from the pharmacy, and this is where I keep all of our medicines, so I was confused. I asked my wife if she'd seen them, and she said no. I started getting worried. We already have an existing prescription, but we couldn't get a hold of the endocrinologist to renew it that evening. My son had been very active that day and needed his insulin shot to bring down his blood sugar. It was my last resort, but I was able to buy insulin from a pharmacy that didn't require a prescription. When I got home, my wife told me that he went to the bathroom a few times and drank plenty of water because he felt thirsty. I gave him insulin shot 4 hours past the usual time. I'm so pissed right now. My wife told me she found the bottle in her daughter's bedroom but was unable to find the syringe pack until she went outside and noticed they were tossed in the garbage can. I was so pissed. I went straight to my stepdaughter and asked her about it, but she denied it. She wanted a lock for her room for privacy, and we got her that, but I decided I want to have it removed since she hid the insulin bottle in her room, and my wife was unable to get it when the door was unlocked. She cried and said I was being horrible to her, and I have no right to do this. What she did was irresponsible and bad. That's the least I could think of. No, that's attempted murder. And you know what? Fuck a lock. Take the whole door off. Anything in her room that she enjoys, like her phone, her computer, any videos, whatever, game consoles and all that stuff, take all that shit, put it in the backyard in the barbecue grill and light it on fire. Burn it. And then tell her if she wants to earn it back, she better start acting like she got some fucking sense and that she just in the house and trying to kill your little boy. Tell her if something happens to him, it's gonna be her ass, and neither her mother nor her father could save her from you. I would threaten that little bitch. I wouldn't give a fuck. If she could go to school and talk about all kinds of stuff, I'd be like, yeah, let's talk about what you did to your brother and almost murdered him. Let's talk about that. And then my reaction to that. Now you want to be telling stuff, let's tell the whole story. Either that or you're going to have to move out. Move with your little boy to an environment where he can be safe and leave your wife and her raggedy ass daughter by themselves. So you never have to see either one of them again. It may come down to that. If your wife is not 100% in your corner about this, no, she threw the syringes in the trash. She just didn't want the little boy to have his insulin shot. And then she does things to sabotage his health, making him overwork and, giving him nasty snacks. She's trying to kill him. That is the worst kind of sibling rivalry. You guys don't understand what diabetes will do to a little kid. Type 1 diabetes used to be called juvenile diabetes. They have to take care of themselves. This kid could go into shock and die. This little bitch is trying to kill him. So this is a very serious matter. And dude, I hope you jump down her throat with both feet and tell her if she does any shit like that again, she's out of the house and she's going to be in juvenile. Tell her she can't live in the house because your priority is protecting that 10-year-old. And anytime she feel like she can just do something to hurt a 10-year-old kid, that means that her ass she just don't need to be there because she's putting that little baby at risk. She didn't use them. Okay, I knew you not listening. She took the needles and threw them in the trash outside. She didn't want them. She didn't use them. She's not doing drugs. She didn't want the little boy to have his insulin shot. Why is it so hard? Stop giving them, imagining shit in your mind. Pay attention to what's written in the letter. The man told you what happened to him. Why are you coming up with some other strange scenarios that don't have nothing to do with reality? You know that pisses me off. So this girl, yeah, she cried and said I was being horrible. Oh, no, she wouldn't have shit in her room. She'd be playing with her fingers, playing twiddlywinks and making shadow puppets and shit because that's all she would have to do that with. Making tents and forts and shit with sheets, that kind of thing, because you wouldn't have nothing else in your room. Not that I bought. Question number 9, female, 26 to 29 out of the UK. My boyfriend and I have been together for about 5 years, and we've been living together for 2. Dang, you only in the 20s? Okay. He has a 6-year-old son, unplanned from a previous relationship. I absolutely love his son so much. To me, he is my stepson, even if we aren't married. Here's the problem. While I love my boyfriend, he's doing a terrible job being a parent. He's raising his son in this old toxic masculinity way. He's pushing him too far, and he's still just a kid. Anyone can see he's not handling it well, and I don't know what to do. Isn't even my place to interfere in the way he raises his son? But it's become too much for me to just watch. He won't allow him to show any kind of emotion, and sometimes his attitude is borderline abusive. My family thinks it's none of my business and I should stay out of it. But is that really okay? No. Why are you telling your family anyway? Stop telling them everything. I tried having a conversation with him about it, and he dismissed me, saying, I don't know what it's like to raise a boy the right way. And he said that's how he and his brothers were raised, and they turned out fine. I just want to clarify that my boyfriend has never shown any sexist behavior towards women and has never mistreated me in any way, and this post isn't about bashing him. While his parenting method is like that, I wouldn't say that he has taught his son anything sexist or hateful. To me, the biggest issue is that he refuses to let his son show emotion and is completely hooked on the idiotic statement that men have to act like men, and he may never admit it, but I feel like he has a slightly homophobic side to him. Well, I'm going to say this. I would have to see the kind of stuff the dude's doing. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. A lot of mothers interfere with their sons being raised to be young men. They raise them to be little punks, crying about every goddamn thing, whining like a baby, throwing fits and, sobbing and tear jerking and snotting everywhere because they don't get their way. Everything is a big tear circle. So, I mean, if he's not letting him do that kind of stuff and break down and act like a fool, then I'm 100% in his corner. Now, if he also won't let him show excitement and happiness and, frustration and stuff like that, well, then we have somewhat of a problem. Because, I mean, it's normal to show emotion. And plus, the kid's only 6. He's still trying to find his way. You don't want to deny him everything, but you do want to make sure that he understands that, you get about 10 seconds to cry and whine, and you better turn that shit off. Okay, because this is not the way that young men behave. So I'm 100% in that because I'm tired of, no, it's not abuse. We don't know if it's abuse. We don't know that because I'm telling you, look at all these whining ass what you call them, mama's boys around here. A lot of women are just too soft on boys. That's why we have a whole generation of just milquetoast, weak ass fools right now. They don't know how to do nothing. They ain't about nothing. They have no spine. They can't make a decision. They don't know how to do shit, and they just cry like a girl. And so I can't really pass judgment on dude because I've seen too many women interfere with young boys being raised up and the boys raised up to be. I mean, just put them in a dress. Why don't you? Because that's how girly they are. Just so feminine and just in their feelings about every damn thing. And he doesn't want his son to be that way, and I am in full agreement. Now, how he's doing it, I would have to see it for myself before I would be able to say anything because I don't know your personality. If you that soft touch time that would be coddling him and treating him like a big baby, or if you have good sense. So I can't really, this letter here, I would have to see it, and I would have to talk to dude. I cannot pass judgment like this on him because of the society in which we live, and I know for a fact there's just too many males that's just raised to be punks, bitches, and he's not trying to have his son be one. What you want from me? Question number 10, female 30 to 36 out of Trinidad and Tobago. Ooh, good day. I have been dating an Aquarius man. Okay. For 4 months. It started great. He would come to my home and talk for hours, call every day until he stopped going home for the duration of our 4-month relationship. Within the first month, he claims he's in love with me and starts wanting me to live with him. He owns his own home. He will give me money, and I will cook for his lunch for work and dinner. Every day, in order to save both of us money, he will cook as well if I'm working late. I started to see that he will say that he is going out to come back just now and comes back 4 to 5 hours. He will promise to cook an item and have me waiting for hours because he will be hanging out with friends. Oh, no. Now I met him like this. I don't mind, but my problem is that he keeps me waiting. He could just do what he said he will do and go back, but he'd rather have me waiting. I told him about it on 4 occasions. I feel like he doesn't respect my time and is being inconsiderate, and he said he will change. When I call him and tell him that he needs to find a balance between hanging with friends and doing what he says for me, he got mad and said I met him that way and have to listen to what he says. He come home saying we should take a break from each other and packed his things and left. The next night he came back to talk. I didn't open the door. I gave him what he forgot through the window and told him it's over. He said he loves me, and I told him his actions don't show that, and I closed my window. Do you think I should have listened to what he had to say? Hell no. You did exactly the right thing. I want to give you a standing ovation. You had a boundary, even though it took you 4 times, talking to him about it 4 times. You're supposed to talk to him about it no more than 2. 1 time is the warning. Like I said, everybody gets a warning like a rattlesnake. Rattlesnake gonna warn you. They're not gonna just jump out and bite you the first time. They're gonna warn you. That means stop in your tracks. Don't get no closer. Let's stop, change course. Okay, you're going in the wrong direction. That's what that means. Don't come over here with that shit. That's what the rattlesnake is trying to tell you. That's what the woman says when she's trying to warn a dude. You're going down the wrong path. Don't come over here with that shit. Okay, well then he does it again. What does that mean? That means he wanted to do it. That means that your warning he just didn't care. He cares more about what he's doing. He doesn't care if it hurts you. So in a situation like that, that's why I said you shouldn't have this issue should never come up more than twice. So by the time it happened the second time, you're supposed to be like, get your shit and get the fuck out. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You don't sit there and do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times and then wait for him to leave you. You were supposed to throw him out, but ultimately the end result is the same. But you don't listen to them, because all he's going to do is try to talk his way back into it and turn around and treat you the exact same way, just to show you that what you said ain't shit and you ain't shit either. So you don't have to take this kind of stuff. You did exactly the right thing. I commend you for it. Yeah, he didn't respect her. But that was the thing, you just keep him, you kept waiting. See, I don't wait for nobody. I leave, and you come back and that house will be empty and cold. We not doing that. All right, next. Question 11. Female, 25 to 29, out of the UK. I just wanted some external insight as to whether this type of treatment from a significant other is acceptable, as I'm questioning myself. My boyfriend, I feel, may have some sort of control issue, but not in the overly apparent way, such as telling me what to wear, what I'm always doing. It's making me feel like crap, but when I've expressed this to him, he doesn't understand why. We don't live together, but yesterday I was at his place while he was doing some jobs in the garden, and while he was working, he would delegate tasks to me. I.e., can you get a cloth and try to clean that stain on the sofa? Whilst you're in the kitchen, can you take the bin out? As I'm busy here, can you go to the shop and buy us some lunch? Can you go upstairs and get me a screwdriver from the toolbox? Sometimes accompanied with a please, but not always. It's not like he's sitting on the couch doing nothing and ordering me about from there, but it still doesn't sit great with me, as I feel like I'm running errands. When I brought it up with him, he said, well, I'm busy, which is why I asked you to do it. There are other things, too, that irk me, such as if we are going somewhere for the day, he will say, we are leaving at 10, so make sure you're ready by then, rather than making it a discussion. I don't feel like an equal, but he's also not being overly horrible to me either, so I'm just feeling a bit confused. Just looking for a non-biased opinion as to whether or not this is an acceptable way to speak to your SO, and if not, how do I deal with it, as I equally feel like I can't say no to these things either, as I'm perfectly capable of doing them. Confused. I don't give a fuck. I'm capable of doing a whole bunch of stuff. That don't mean I want to do it. It don't mean I want to do it now. It don't mean I want to do it ever. And it certainly doesn't mean when I do it on command, when you issue one of your royal king statements. What, you don't know how to say no? I don't want to. He said, so, well, why don't you go clean the scrub? No, hire Mary Maids, motherfucker. What I look like? Are you breaking my nails, scrubbing your couch? What the fuck? Did I put the stain on there? Then whoever the motherfucker is who put it on there is the one who needs to be scrubbing it off. That wasn't me. I don't live here. I'm not your maid. Stuff like that. He's talking about go upstairs and get this. You do it. You should have remembered your tools when you came downstairs. Why are you going to tools upstairs anyway? Everybody else has a garage with toolboxes and shit. Here you are putting your shit upstairs in the dresser. I wouldn't be doing nothing. I just don't command me. Don't do that. I do what I want to do. That's my motto. It's been my motto since I was 4 years old. I do what I want to do. And, this telling me to do this and take out the trash. No, you take it out. I don't live here. This your trash. You take your trash. Make sure you're ready by then. Well, yeah, he just kind of like barks commands. I don't know about, this is the thing about it. He's not being overtly horrible, but you don't feel like an equal. That's all that counts. What you feel like is valid for you. How many times do I have to say this? You looking for me to tell you it's okay to feel this. And I don't know why you young girls keep doing that. It's like you don't trust yourself. You have a feeling and you're afraid to even own what you feel because you're looking for approval from outside yourself. Nobody has to approve anything of what is your reality. Okay, the way that you feel in response to how someone talks to you is valid for you. I'm telling you, it would have irritated me too. But I wouldn't have handled it. I wouldn't have done it, and I would have cussed him out. He just want to see how much control, how easy she is to manipulate. That's all. When you're the pleaser type of woman, you're going to do stuff because you think she's going to please him. and make him like you more and, think good things of you and stuff like that. Those are the kind of women that usually get caught in these kinds of traps. When you don't give a fuck whether he likes you or not. I mean, if he does, it's cool. But if he don't, that's cool too, because there's always somebody else that might like you even more. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's like it is what it is. While he's there, it's good, and when he's there, it's still good. So you don't get caught up on no dudes. You just don't. You just don't. Once they know they got your nose open like that and they can run you, it's over for you. That's why you don't ever give them that kind of attention, that kind of deference. And you say no at least 5 times as much as you say yes when you're dealing with a man. Even if you might want to do it, you still say no. Just to be a contrarian. Say no because it's Tuesday. It's the only reason. Question number 12. This is a female, 21 to 26, out the Bay Area. Hi, Deb. I'm young and I live with my mom, my aunt, both in their 60s, and our family. I believe my auntie is being scammed. She met this, quote, white man who's supposedly European and living in Africa on Facebook. He also claims to be a wealthy heir. He told my aunt he has an inheritance, but that he would need her to help him get it and that they would get married. Oh, no, not the Nigerian inheritance scam. She now believes that she's legally married to this man because of some what? She also believes that she has millions in inheritance coming her way. She's been going around bragging and talking all kinds of smack, taunting people that she's leaving them out of her will. But there's just one issue. It's all fake. During the course of all this, she has been communicating with different people related and associated with him over the phone and even has a lawyer that was provided to her by them. She claims that all these men are white. After overhearing him on the phone, I'm pretty sure they're all African. She has given these men all of her personal information. She's given them thousands of dollars over the past few years. In January 2019, she was supposed to get the inheritance. Before that, it was in 2017. This has been going on for years. All the while, she keeps getting fined and keeps having to pay all these fees. She has to do all kinds of stuff, like getting all kinds of packages sent to the house for her to reroute them to somewhere else. She has been opening up all these different bank accounts in her name and has to send money from one account to the next. She has been rejected and blocked by banks because they are wondering where all the money is coming from for someone with her income. She has been investigated because at one point it was up to $1 million in an account and they put a hold on it. She has also had multiple problems with her identity being stolen ever since she got involved with these people. You think? If she doesn't transfer funds or reroute packages when she is supposed to, she is fined and has to pay a fee. She keeps bragging that she has all this money that she will inherit, but they keep pushing this date every year. Whenever she makes a fuss, they just tell her she will get it next month. And then the cycle continues. They have sent her pictures of all kinds of fake documents to convince her that it is real. But she can never have any of the money that they have her sending from one account to the next. What to do, Deb? I just don't feel bad for her anymore. My mom will not get through to her because my mom says she doesn't care as long as my aunt gives her a cut if she actually ever gets any money. Your aunt is dumb as a rock. Okay, all she would have to do is open up any with scam type web space. There's one called, I think it's scamdetector.com that I used to go on all the time to, is it scam hyphen detector? Well, anyway, just scamdetector.com. And I think it's based out of Australia or something, but it's like the games are global. So the stuff they talk about, these Nigerians do everywhere, Kenyans and all, they do the same shit all over the world. Because anywhere there's an internet connection, they gonna get you. And it's like certain lonely, gullible women that they can attack. And the same thing, they do the same thing to lonely, gullible men. They send them pictures of beautiful girls and say that this is them. And you never know if it's even a female on the other end of the line. I always suspect it's dudes. They just be after the men's money, so they use, a picture of a woman. And they could have their sister or somebody talk to them on the phone or whatever to pretend to be this person. It's just really a racket. But your aunt it's unfortunate, is very, very naive. So have her look at scam detector. Like I said, try scam detector one word and try scam hyphen detector. I'm not really remembering which one it is, but anyway, they have all the games, all the scams that's being currently run, and some from this already, old stuff that they be trying to recycle. And you can go on there and you can print out the page and show her that that's exactly, and it's called the Nigerian inheritance scam. It's a very common scam. About the, well, I don't know. We'll see. Try this one. I think it has a hyphen. I think. Try that one. And if that's not it, then take the hyphen out. It's gonna be one of them. But that it was what I would what that's the approach that I would take. So your aunt can see that she's being silly. My daughter almost got involved in something like that. She was looking for a job, right? She was like 17, 18, and she was looking for a job online, and she found this thing where you're supposed to be, they send you money and you put it into the account and you buy office supplies and you ship it somewhere. And she's like, Mom, look. I said, what is this? And they had sent it in this FedEx envelope, right? So you know me, I'm looking, I see, I'm like, where's this from? Who is these people? Couldn't find nothing about them on the internet. I'm like, I said, Taryn, what kind of information did you give these people? I don't know. I'm thinking that this is a scam of some sort. Oh, I didn't give them anything. I don't know if she did or not, but that's what she said. So I said, okay, well, give me this. You're not going to do this. And I, had my brother, I'll have some of his letterhead. And I wrote them people a very nasty letter. And I told them, I know this is a fucking scam. I have burned that check. You trying to get my daughter involved in some bullshit, motherfucker. I will find you and kill you. Don't you even think about it. And don't you send nothing to this house. I don't want you calling her. Nothing. Because, this kind of thing here, this will get you hurt because you messing with the wrong family. So just don't do that. Everybody in my family is a thug and don't mind killing somebody. Half of them in prison for that, doing it anyway. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's my daughter, and it's just like, I just lose it. I go crazy. So I just had no qualms about it because they were trying to get her involved in some stuff that would have her in jail, in prison for fraud and bank felonies and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, nah, nah. Yeah, and this really happened. And so I was just so scared for her. I was just happy that she, had thought to show it to me so that I could put a stop to it before stuff started happening and she got herself in some trouble. Oh, they have the FBI website? Okay, that works good too. Yeah, it's good to have a family full of gangsters. Cause then if somebody mess with you, they messing with like 50, 11 people. And they just as crazy as me, so it's a bad scene. Question: we have a cousin that's still. I have to tell y'all the story. Okay, my cousin. Well, actually, he's her cousin. The cousin I do the videos with. This dude is her cousin on her father's side, so he's no relation to me. But we all grew up together and whatever, so I know him. So he marries this bitch. I can't stand this bitch, and so she comes over to my cousin's house, right? And we all there. It's like a holiday or something. And she brings a dog. Now, I'm a very allergic to animals. I can't stand it. She didn't even ask nobody could she bring this damn dog. She brings the dog. And then my cousin's little grandson at the time was like only 2. And he's standing there. Do you know this dog started nipping at him like he was trying to get him? I had to kick that dog. And so the woman was all mad. She's like, well, you hurt my dog. I'm like, bitch, I'll hurt you too. And so my cousin's daughter grabs her little boy. She was upset. And she ran into the bedroom and stuff. The kid screaming. Because, the dog didn't really bite him, but it scared the crap out of him. And I was ready to box that bitch. I'm like, oh, my cousin had to talk me down. It's like, how dare you? And she was like all defensive. She was more worried about that dog than the fact that this little 2-year-old kid was terrorized of her dog. So I dragged that fucking animal and I threw it out in the patio and closed the door. And she's like, well, I don't want my dog outside. I said, well, then get your dog in your fucking car and go home. That's your 2 options. Either you're going to stay, it's going to stay out there where it can't bite no other kids, or you're going to get your bitch ass dog and you're going to take it home. Because nobody told you to bring that shit up here, no way. It's not even my house. And that's how I was talking to her. And so now it's like, everybody's sick of her. So don't nobody invite him nowhere because they know he going to bring her. And they definitely don't invite her when I'm coming because they know I'll beat her ass. So it's just kind of a horrible moment in a family history. Yeah, I'm like, why did he marry her? She's stupid and she's ugly anyway. Question number 13, female, 25 to 29 out of Philly. Oh, oops, this is a male. I bought a condo about 2 years ago and I loved everything about it except the shower. I planned right away that my first major renovation would be redoing the shower once I got my savings built back up. Shortly after buying it, I started dating this girl. She's planning on moving in with me in October, and knows that I wanted to renovate the shower for a long time. And she's decided about it as well. Well, now I have my savings built back up, and I'm looking to redo the shower this fall and winter. Now, I love my girlfriend and I want her to feel like she's at home here. We've, however, agreed that in any sort of split, I keep 100% of the condo. We signed a legally binding agreement on that. She's more or less a tenant who's paying me rent. She's not on the mortgage. I've had my heart dead set on the specific designs for my shower for a year now. Now that the time is coming, she's throwing out ideas for the shower. Now, I appreciate her input, but she's getting them from her coworker who, quote, has an eye for design, and I really don't like these suggestions. I've told my girlfriend this, but she feels that she should have some input. However, I'm paying for the entire thing, and my dad and I are going to be doing all the work. If we break up, she doesn't get to reap the benefits anymore or get any money out of it, and I don't want her paying for it. That's right. My girlfriend is getting upset that I'm dismissing her ideas. However, I don't think she should have that much input. I'm trying to toe the line between you have no say here and this is your home too, and it should feel as such. However, I feel this is a lot for someone who doesn't even live here yet. Any advice on how to proceed? Dude, you just started dating a girl. She's moving in with you in October. Why is she moving in with you? Enjoy your situation by yourself. Tell her you changed your mind and she's not moving in. You want to live in your condo by yourself. If you just setting yourself up for a bunch of drama, she's already trying to take ownership of some shit that's not hers and she don't even live there yet. The handwriting is on the wall, dude. Pay attention. Don't let that bitch move up in your house. You gonna come home one day and your wall is gonna be painted purple or some shit, or that half tone thing everybody's trying to do. The wall is supposed to be like when we was in kindergarten. That used to be the style. The wall would be half a color at the bottom, and then they would have a chalkboard at the top, right, and a little rack where they put the chalk, so everything was two tone. Now people doing that shit on purpose on their house and look crazy. I'm like, why you got a house, the wall that's divided in half like that? That don't even make no sense. I keep seeing people with that and looking at them like, this is confusing to me. I feel like I'm back in second grade. I don't like that look. So, anyway, she's trying to tell you what to do in your house with your money. You need to shut that down and say, look, I've been trying to be polite, because I didn't want to like go off and stuff, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't say nothing else about what I do in my house and how I decorate my house. It's my shit. I paid for it. I'm going to be the one paying for all the renovations, not you. Okay, so you don't have no input. Anyway, it's not your ideas anyway. It's the ideas from some bitch at your job. I don't care. I don't care about that hoe. I don't want to know nothing about what that hoe thinks. Don't come in here bursting my eardrums with that. I don't want to hear it. So now, that's it. Is that amenable to you? If not, then we can break up. Because, just like you was going to move in October, I could find somebody else. That ain't no thing. And just put her on notice. You giving her too much power. I don't know. I'm just saying. And if she would have to know she's a roommate because they're not married. She's not buying the property. He already bought it. Okay, that's his shit. Now, what else you think you're going to do moving into somebody else's house like that? As that's what all y'all are to move in with a man and paying half. A fucking roommate that's just giving up some free ass. You don't understand that? You think it means something that's all meaningful and wonderful and all of that? That you in love and all this old shit? He's using you. Move your ass out and stop being stupid. You don't never live with no man you ain't married to. It's bad enough you got to live with him when you're married. I want to have a separate house. But you moving in with him and living with him and giving him all your wifely services and doing every goddamn thing under the sun as a wife emotionally, and you don't have none of the legal ties and benefits. That is a dumb bunny move. And I'm just shocked that so many young girls do it and then jump up there and want to be paying half like a fucking roommate. And talking about, well, we doing this and we doing that. No, we ain't doing nothing. He's pimping you. Just like you have him paying half, you could be paying half with some girlfriends. Get you all a 3-bedroom house with a backyard and a pool and shit. And pay, you want to spit some bills, do something like that. And have a really nice spot for the three of you. In the suburbs where ain't no niggas. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. You want to be doing something intelligent with your money. Not giving it to a man. Helping him pay his mortgage. What the fuck? Helping him pay his rent. Helping him have extra money to buy Jordans and shit. Instead of paying his bills 100% by himself. Stop being stupid. Yeah, I don't want a separate house. Let's live next door to each other. At least a duplex. I don't want to look at you all the time. I want you over there somewhere. But yeah, that's my soapbox about living with people. That's just the dumbest shit ever. Question number 14. Female 30 to 36. My boyfriend is 40 years old and taking care of his elderly but otherwise healthy mom after his dad passed away. He used to visit her on the weekends before, but since his job became remote, he's back at home now. I thought of a funny thought experiment the other day and I asked him who he'd bring along on a deserted island. He answered, my mom and a dog. And I joked, so you don't want me around then? We laughed it off and he said, of course I'd bring you. Normally, I wouldn't even put thought into something like that silly, but that exchange carried a greater importance in light of my other boyfriend's recent behaviors. He loves his mom, but I got the feeling that he hasn't cut the apron strings yet. He told me that when his dad passed away, he had to adopt his father's responsibilities, one of which is caring for his mother. Don't get me wrong, I admire that he's loving and caring, but where does that put me? Every time we plan a vacation, his mom is included somehow. He's done it with exes too. He wants her to live with us, near us when we have kids. In a recent argument, he told me that he'd go to jail for his mom if I forced him to choose between me and his mom. I would never win. This is all just worrisome to me because I don't think he will ever prioritize me if we get married. I don't want his mom looming in the picture like a second wife. I don't want to live with her, but I am open to her living near us. Am I just being really fussy? No, you seeing the handwriting on the wall. He's mama's boy. So you got married to him, you'll be married to him and his mama. And if his mother decided to have an opinion about different from yours about anything going up in your house, he would be listening to that bitch. So what you need to do is say, look, I want a man who don't have a mama. That's what I tell them all. I wanted you to be mama dead. Better yet, you never had one. You were found behind some bushes somewhere in the bush. You raised by cheetahs. I don't care what but I don't tell me about your mama. Don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I just don't. These women, they just be doing too much, especially when they have a son. They just go crazy. And you have the full story right here in front of you. He's flat out telling you how he feels about you. You're a way distant second to this woman. So this is no kind of man who has the kind of emotions to even be anybody's husband. He's never going to love you the way that you would need to be loved for it to be like a you two against the world kind of setup. He's not capable as long as his mother is around, and probably would even if she's dead because his mind's not right. He hasn't separated from her. You see it very clearly. Now it's just a matter of what you're going to do about it. Yeah, total mama's boy. Ugh. Question 15, male 40 to 50 out to UK. I've been living with my partner for 2 years, 3 years together, and we both have a daughter, each 9 and 12. We are recently splitting up, and I'm on my knees worrying if I made the right decision. My ex-girlfriend has a great job as a manager, and our lifestyle at home is amazing. She helped me through a difficult period of my life and has never asked me for anything. She's loyal, honest, and a lovely person. To add to the story, she was abused by her father growing up and lost her 9-year-old son 3 years ago due to illness. I supported her with love and can't even imagine what her and her daughter have been through. The problem is her daughter is rude, self-entitled, obese, incredibly unmotivated, arrogant, and defiant. I find myself ignoring her and not giving my best, which disappoints me and has caused a huge issue with my partner as she refuses to discipline her or have any expectations of her explaining that she has to work it out for herself and that she lost her brother. I don't want to sound insensitive as grief on that level must be unimaginable, but I feel she needs direction, guidance, and perhaps professional help to help her out of this hole. She has no respect for anyone or anything and is selfish beyond words. I feel if I leave, I'm not helping either one of them, and despite everything, I want this kid to flourish and become healthy and a nicer person, but can't seem to help her, and it upsets me. I feel she has had enough heartache and disruption in her life, but I also feel it's becoming toxic and likely to get worse as she reaches teen years. She has no friends, possesses no social skills, and doesn't want to get better despite all my best efforts. I'm afraid I will just become the nagging, miserable mom's boyfriend, but when my daughter is with us for the weekend, she becomes alive and they have a close bond. I love my girlfriend, but the situation has become very difficult, and of course, her daughter comes first. Any advice would be greatly received. So when your daughter's over, the girl becomes alive and they have a close bond. That's interesting. You kind of glossed over that. Huh. So I wonder which girl is 12. Okay, she lost her 9-year-old son and you both have a daughter each, 9 and 12. So I don't know which one is 12. I guess maybe her daughter is the 12-year-old and yours is not. 9, so you didn't say. So that's kind of making me, I don't know which age is which. Hmm. But anyway, you, sir, you have to worry about your daughter. It's nice that you're concerned. Don't get me wrong. It's a very wonderful aspect of your personality. That sounds like you're a good dude. You know what I mean? But your loyalty and your protectiveness and your concern must be about your own child. You're not married to this woman. So what's going on in her? You're not the stepfather. You just the mama's boyfriend. Okay, which gives you no legal rights or responsibilities or obligations to this child. So what I'm going to suggest is, like you said, you're in the process of splitting up. That's probably a good thing. And, go on with your daughter and have her around people that are, healthy and sane and not going through drama like this. It's really unfortunate. And I agree with you that the little girl, probably could use some grief counseling. I mean, a lot of parents don't really think about that. They think about their own pain, but they don't think about how would my child feel about having lost a younger sibling. That's kind of a horrific thing. I know if something happened to my little brother, I would have went crazy. The partner has a 12-year-old troubled daughter. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't, I didn't want to just jump to conclusion because it wasn't clear. Um, Yeah, her daughter comes first to her, but yours comes first to you. And, you can part ways with them in a way that's loving and all of that. You don't have to fight and call names and all that, but you just have to let this woman know, this is an unhealthy situation for me, and I don't want it rubbing off on the way that I parent my daughter. So I have to make space for my daughter to protect her and for her relationship with me to stay healthy. So for in order for that to happen, I need to, be healthy, and I can't do it in this environment. It just causes me too much angst. And then just chuck out the deuces and be out. You good though, cause I would have been left. No, I wouldn't even have been there. I don't be living with nobody, especially they got kids. Oh hell no, cause I don't even really like kids that much. I only liked mine, and even only that was sometimes. So kids are a pain in the ass. Question number 16, female, 25 to 29, out of Los Angeles. Me and my boyfriend moved together like 6 months ago. Tummy. He works full time and I work around 25 to 30 hours. The reason why I didn't get a full time job is because I'll go back to study, so I decided to stay in that job. We talked about moving in together. We decided that we would split the rent 65-35 approximately, because he lives in an expensive area and he makes way more money than me, and I couldn't afford living in a place like that or even paying half the rent. Nothing has changed. We still have the same jobs. But now he's demanding me to pay half the rent. I'm not sure why. He seems very irritated at me. I've been noticing this for a few days, but I did not know why he has been so irritated, fixated on the rent. I'm not sure what to tell him because I can't afford living in this place. And half the rent is too much. I feel like this is unfair because we agreed from the start to this. If I got a better job, I was given a raise, and sure, I could pay more, but that's not the case. I've been thinking of moving out, but I don't know when I will be able to find a room or an apartment. And also, I'm not sure how this will affect the relationship because I would have to move away from this area to afford something. Is it unfair or am I being unreasonable? And I'm not sure what to do from now on. What should I tell him? The easiest option would be moving out, but even that's difficult. It's not difficult. Just find you a room somewhere. You know? So a lot of people have it. I mean, it's not might not be the ideal situation, but giving up money that you don't have is not the ideal situation either. And there's something bothering him. For him to have started acting like this and demand that you pay half all of a sudden. What, did he lose part of his job or something? Did something happen that he doesn't want you to tell him? Tell you about? The bottom line is, though, you never mind. Whatever's going on with him is irrelevant. What we were talking about is you. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit him down and say, look, when we moved in, this is what we agreed to. My situation, financial situation, has not changed, not one bit. Where do you think I'm supposed to get the money to pay half this rent on this expensive ass luxury apartment that you just have to live in? Where do you think what I'm supposed to be like bewitched, dink a dink a dink, and make some money appear in my bank account? What kind of what's what? So since it seems like you don't want me moving in, living here anymore, give me 1 month and I'll be out. I will pay you the 35% as we agreed, and then by the end of next month, I will be gone. I will find myself a place to move to. Check with all your friends and everything. See if anybody's parents got a room you can rent. Somebody's aunt, any place. You need to get out of there. Buy yourself some time. You can always leave your stuff in boxes and move again if you need to. But you got to get out of this situation. He don't want you there, and he's not. He's not being manly enough to say it. But he's done with you living there. He's using the rent as an excuse. Okay, understand, but you need to, clear the air, let them know that you're not stupid, you know what's going on. And that's why you had that conversation. And tell him you'll be out in 30 days. Question, because even if he formally evicted you, it still would be 30 days, so he should just be happy. Otherwise you could just stay there and say, well, then you're going to have to evict me then. In which case that might take 2 months. So, a month is good. Question number 17, female, 26 to 29 out of Ontario. My boyfriend and I have been together almost 3 years. Notice how they always tell you how long they've been together. That's so important to women. I want to preface this by saying that we are both extreme introverts, so we struggle a lot with communication and expressing ourselves. We have not said I love you to one another, nor have we felt or discussed the future together in any significant way. We are 33 and 32. This hasn't bothered me too much. I am low maintenance and I haven't been in a place for a serious relationship. We aren't casual by any means, but we aren't like, marriage or living together or anything placed in our lives either. Lately, however, I've been thinking about the future with more earnest. I have been working on boosting a significant career. I live in an apartment, but eventually I want more. I can wait. I'm actually still figuring things out, but I want to know that there is a future and if we are on the same path. My boyfriend doesn't communicate well, neither do I. But I approached him today and expressed many things as nice as possible, including my frustration at our lack of communication and how it makes me feel. He said nothing in response. Then I asked what he wants out of life, and he said, I don't know. I tried to open it up to anything, where to live, where to work, travel, anything. He still said he doesn't know. Worse, I asked what he wants me in his life. Long, long pause. And then he said, I don't know what you mean. Finally, he said something like, I care about you and I like being with you. Not exactly a confident response. I feel like I'm a placeholder for him until he figured out his life. I don't have time for that. Am I overreading this? Could this be just a communication issue? Could things change? Or is he just never going to have a plan for his life? Is there any better way I can approach him and discuss this one more time? Any specific I can say? I'd be broken to break up with him, but so not my first choice or something I take lightly. Okay, you've been together for 3 years and he don't have no plans. He don't know what he want to do. And everything that you ask him, he don't know nothing. And you don't understand what that means. Don't you think if a man wanted you in his life and was making plans to have you in his life, he would have something to say along those lines? Yeah, I see us doing this. I see us doing that. Well, it's going to be a few years, but this and that's going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. But none of that's happening, girlfriend. So you talking about, is there any better way I can approach him and discuss it again? What you going to keep talking about it for? The man's already giving you the answers that you need. He's not the guy. He ain't the one. Okay, he don't want you. Not like that. And then you're going to have a long, long pause. I don't know what you mean. Fucking liar. He knows what you mean. He just didn't want to say it. You're convenience for him. You Mr. Introvert who don't have nothing to say, giving up some booty. That's all you're there for. I hope you understand. So get your stuff and leave him alone. Go do your thing. You say you're still figuring out stuff for yourself? Well, then go do that. Something I take lightly. He was never really what you wanted in the first place. You just wasted 3 years of your life. Question number 18, female, 225 out to UK. I've been friends with a man for 9 months. Recently, he got in touch and we met up twice on our own for walks since the course had finished. He initiated contact for both of these walks. Cheap. The second time, we felt like we had known each other all of our lives. We spent about 12 hours together. He kept dropping hints as though he could see us in a relationship and said we had some deep conversations. I felt disheartened that since we met, he has looked daily on the dating website he's a member of. A friend said I shouldn't have spent that much time with him as he is nothing else to look forward to, which is why he is back online. Now I know he is single and can do what he likes, but I don't want to play second best to a man who I feel is emotionally unavailable. He even mentioned his ex a few times who hurt him, so I think he isn't ready. Should I just stay friends with him but carry on dating others? I know we could have a good relationship, but I'm not waiting for someone who doesn't know what he wants and use me as a backup plan. Okay, wait. You had 2 walks and you talking all this kind of crazy conversation to me. Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? You don't even know dude's middle name, and you up here just getting out. "Well, yeah, you know, he's emotionally unavailable. This and that. Who's gonna be not emotionally unavailable after only 2 days? I mean, what you think people just gonna come into your life and just spill their guts and be madly in love in 2 days? Is that what you think? His reaction, he trying to like spend his 12 hours. You were supposed to cut that down. You don't never let a man tie up your time like that. He's trying to get you to do accustomed to feeling like you dating him for a long time when it was all squeezed into one day. That's a typical narc trick. Anyway, cut this fool loose. Block him. Don't even say goodbye. No nothing. Just block him. He's just wasting somebody's time. He was mad because after 12 hours he invested on all his walking, that he didn't get no booty. So that's why he back on the site. I don't know. She too old for this shit. Let me see. She's in the 21 to 25 age group out the UK. Yeah. I'll walk his ass off like Forrest Gump some damn where. You're going to be walking without me. I'm like, you're going to take me on a date on a walk? Nigga, what? Fuck out of here. I'm not going on a fucking hike. And if I want to go on a hike, I would join some group, meet up or something. I'm not going out on a date and get all sweaty and shit, mosquitoes biting me and stuff, with dirt blowing up from my hair and all my makeup. No. Question number 19, female 18 to 21 out of Sydney, Australia. I am a 20-year-old woman and been with my 20-year-old boyfriend for 3 years now. Dang. We have been living together for around a year and a half. We also own a cat together. I have noticed this is nothing new and has always kind of occurred that my boyfriend likes to make, quote, jokes, even though he knows they just make me anxious and upset. An example is, quote, after work, insert name of hot girl he works with, and I are going for a drink together, and I'm planning to get drunk, and she's going to drive me home. He knows that this scenario would make me quite anxious. I have severe anxiety, and I'm prone to panic attacks. He also knows that I don't want to control him, and I won't tell him he can't, but that will definitely affect me. He will then, what is that? Hold on a second. My thing is sending me messages. He will then not reply for around 10 minutes, and then when he checks his phone again after I send a few messages, visibly anxious at the thought of it, but trying to keep my cool, he will tell me he was just joking and not to get so worked up. He also does this with little things, like ask me to vacuum the floors. He will tell me no and that he doesn't want to. And then she's going on, and our cat has been gagging frequently. Okay, and I don't know what this has to do with the relationship. He knows I'm under a lot of stress with balancing work at school and everything. He knows I have anxiety. He also knows I get stressed, and my mood can go from unhappy to tense to upset very quickly. I have explained to him that these jokes aren't jokes and they're just mean. He doesn't seem to get it and tells me that they're just jokes. I personally don't think they are because they aren't funny and are just mean. Am I overreacting? Or are these not jokes and just mean things at my expense? Also, can you recommend anything about how to approach this? Every time I try to explain how it makes me feel, he brings it back on me and tells me I am just as bad. I then ask for specific examples to explain that if he feels that way, I will address it and do my best to improve, but he just tells me to stop talking about it and makes me feel like I have done something wrong. Oh, he just gaslighting you. You haven't done nothing. Girl, you just you don't have anxiety with men. You don't do that. You don't have anxiety and be anxious, and you don't never cry about shit that they do. Nothing. Instead, you flip it back and you make them cry. So he want to make some jokes. What did you say? He said, after work, we're going for a drink together. I'm planning to get drunk, and she's going to drive me home. Say, oh, is that right? Well, so you're not the least bit concerned about who I'm going to be out with drinking while you out doing that? Because if you think I'm going to sit around this house waiting for you to get home drunk, that is so not going to happen. Where you going to go, he would be saying. I mean, like, that's none of your business, right? Because you're going to be out with insert name of hot girl. So you worry about that. I worry about me. And don't worry about where I'm going to be in what time. And don't worry about when I get here either, because it's none of your concern, right? Because you want to be with hot girl. So I'm going to go be with hot boy. And let's just make life simple and happy like that. And then he doesn't reply for 10 minutes and all this stuff. If he doesn't reply, you're supposed to turn your phone off. So by the time he tries to call you and stuff, then he can't, because he'll get that this phone has been turned off message. Then he'll be wondering, well, what you doing that your phone is turned off? You see what I mean? You're not playing with his mind enough. You being too earnest and all this kind of stuff. That's not how you do men. Whatever way that they do it, you up the ante. They do something at 50, level 50, you go to level 70. They go to level 70, you go to level 100. And that's how you do things with them. You don't never let no man run you. And he's up there telling you, trying to switch it and talk about why that he's just making jokes. Find something to joke about with him. I don't know. You didn't say too much about what he looks like or has money or his sex game or something, but surely something in there that you can make fun about him about, since he likes jokes so much. Let's tell some. The biggest joke was when you thought that you was making me scream. I was channeling what's her name when Harry met Sally? Meg Ryan. Remember that cafeteria scene? I was channeling her. So you surely didn't think that all that screaming and hair flipping was real. That's a really funny joke. You ain't putting it down like that, home skillet. You really aren't. I don't know. I'm just mean. I don't like them. Don't talk shit to me, because I'm going to hurt you. Hurt your feelings. Question number 20. Female 18 to 21 out of Los Angeles. I'm 19. I've been with my current boyfriend. He's 21 for about a year. We met at school and he asked me out, and we have been going strong ever since. We became active early on in our relationship, and we have been thoroughly enjoying ourselves. When COVID happened, I had to go home because I lived in the dorms while he stayed in his apartment. We were about 3 hours apart, and one of us would drive to see the other one about once a week. Towards the beginning of the summer, he asked me to send him some nudes. Oh, I was hesitant because I never really liked the thought of someone else having naked pictures of me, no matter how long we dated. So at first I said no, but after a few more times of him asking, I agreed. See? Weak boundaries, no spine. I actually completely forgot about them until recently. About 2 days ago, my boyfriend invited me over. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't really want to go. But he just said we would just watch TV or something. So I went over there, and he was clearly wanting to have eggplant. He kept making advances, and I kept pushing him away. He was clearly getting frustrated until he lashed out and basically said if I didn't want to do it, he would leak my nudes. At first, I thought he was joking, but he made it clear he was being serious. So we did it. It was just super uncomfortable and shocking and humiliating, and he never really acted like that before. Neither one of us said much until after. He went to the bathroom, and I threw up on his bed and started crying because I felt awful about vomiting on his bed, and I was a little overwhelmed about what just happened. After that, he was just as nice as usual, and we kind of just been acting like nothing happened. I've tried going on his phone and deleting the pictures, but he has a password. I'm afraid he's going to get mad and send them out if I ask him. Sorry if this is all over the place. It doesn't make much sense. I just really need to tell someone about it and could really, really use some of your hardcore advice. I can't really give you any advice. What you are supposed to do is when you said no, you stick to no. You don't ever give in to what men want. You just don't do it when it's going to harm you. What did it say? Teach you how to make men cry. Oh, that's easy. You just got to know your dude, though. Know what hurts his feelings. They all have feelings. They're worse than women. You find what you want to make his ass cry. Find what hurts his feelings the most, and then you just mash on it, like stepping on a roach. You know how you grind your foot a little extra? That's what you do. Yeah, basically that was coercion. That's what that was. Technically, that is a sexual assault because you said no, and he, threatened you. That's called coercion under the law. Look it up. So what you had with your boyfriend right there was a sexual assault. Now, did you want to date a guy who would sexually assault you and call that a loving relationship? That was a rape. And a lot of people say, well, no, because she gave in. But did she really? She gave in under duress. He was threatening her. And so she did it not because willingly, not as of her own volition. She did it because he was threatening her of what he was going to do to her if she didn't. That's called coercion. Okay. Now, what you need to do is leave this guy alone. He's shown you his true colors. Okay. He's shown you his true colors. And there's really nothing much you can do about them pictures. You can ask him to delete them, but he's probably going to tell you no because he's going to be mad that you left him. It's just going to be something you're just going to have to eat. I mean, it's like, so you're nude on the internet. I mean, what? What is the big deal? Everybody shows that half these swimsuits are naked anyway. As long as you got a nice body, tell them, go ahead. Let me see how many men I could catch. You going to help me get my next boyfriend. I'm not even going to have to do nothing. You're going to do all the work for me. Yeah, this guy's bad news. Bad, bad, bad news. Get away from him, okay? Get away from him before something worse happens. Question 21 of 22. We got one after this one. This is a young woman in the 26 to 29 age group out of Auckland, New Zealand. I've been dealing with mental illness for a while now. Oh, yeah, she can. But the problem is, it's only illegal to send them if they're minors. It's not illegal to send adults to send pictures to adults. That's not illegal. I mean, it might be in some countries, but it's not here. It is, though, if they're minor children. Then you're in trouble. But, she's an adult, and he's an adult, and she took them, and she sent them. So she did that voluntarily. So that part is not a criminal act. What is going to be the problem, though, is what he does with them after. Now, that's where it could become, dicey. But the pictures themselves, there's nothing, I mean, that's not illegal. There's no crime committed there between two consenting adults. So anyway, she says she's had mental illness for a while now, over 7 years. I have huge issue with the confrontation. I think the fear stems from the few times I had to confront my mom in my childhood and she exploded. The last few weeks at work, my boss would give me around 3 to 4 different tasks to do less than an hour before I need to clock out. For reference, I do social media management from home. It's about $15 an hour and no benefits. That's a nice little gig to sit around at the house. Recently, because I work part-time and I'm a part-time college student, I requested to work 10 to 4 Monday through Friday, and that has been approved. However, it's not really respected. From 10 to 3, I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what to do besides post content, searching up hashtags, doing busy work. From 3 to 4, the last few weeks, my boss has been giving me an immense amount of work to do. For example, at 3:35, she asked me to please create 2 membership videos on Adobe Premiere. I stayed clocked in until 6, but I had a mental breakdown, and honestly, every time she makes me stay late, I turn to tears. I have no problem staying late, but I plan my schooling appointments around my work schedule. So her telling me I need to stay to take 5 minutes before I clock out makes me freak out. It's like crying so hard I can't see. I know this sounds like I'm ridiculous, and it is. I'm working on it, but I really cannot handle changes in my routine. I can't explain it. When something happens last minute, changing my plans, my brain freaks out. I'm seeing a therapist, too, because I know I shouldn't react like that. Ultimately, I'm wondering how to confront her because I'm scared I'll get fired for talking to her, but maybe that's just an irrational fear. No, you are just being irrational. You can't be flipping out like that. Stop it. This is not mental illness. It's called cowardice. Because you don't want to stand up for yourself. You're afraid to tell somebody about themselves. Look, this is what you do. Okay, she sends you something at 3:35. You say, I'll be working on this until 4, and then I'll pick it up again in the morning. That's what you say. She's going to say, but you say, no, I'm off at 4 and I have class. And that's something I have to do. That's the schedule that you approved and that's the schedule that I'm working. I'll do the rest tomorrow. Okay, how hard was that? What's she going to do? She going to come to your house and beat you with something and make you do it? You stayed and did it because you were scared not to. Because you're afraid of confrontation, just like you said. But that's not even a confrontation. That's a boundary. All she got to do is call and you just switch your whole life up based on some bitch on the phone? Look, little dude, or person, whoever you are, you better learn how to find your voice. Say, did she send you something at 3:30? Say, okay, I'll work on this for 30 minutes and then I'm off until tomorrow. She send you something at 3. Oh, I'll work on this for the next hour and then I'm off until tomorrow. You keep saying that, at some point it will sink into the ditzy bitch that this person's off work at 4. Okay, but you have to reinforce that. I tell you what, I worked at a job one time. Wait a minute, this was one of my first jobs too. I was the only black person up in there and the youngest. And they're like, oh, uh, something about everybody staying late. I said, oh, well, how much overtime pay do I get? Because it's supposed to be time and a half. Oh, they don't pay overtime. I said, then I don't work. And I got my shit and walked out the door. They was too through. I don't think I was about 19 years old. And so then the next day I came to work and they're like calling themselves trying to talk to me. Like, well, everyone here works overtime. I said, no, Deborah doesn't do that. Because if I'm not getting paid, I don't work. I'm not here to be a volunteer for a multi-million-dollar brokerage firm. Where they do that at? And so I said no. And then in the meantime, I went on to call the state of California, and I had them big posters where it says overtime wages and breaks and stuff on there. And I ordered 2 of those. So you're supposed to, as an employee, the law mandates that you have those prominently displayed for all employees to see, like in a break room or locker room, something like that. They didn't have it, so I ordered it and I put it up on the wall. And I said, see this part right here? Overtime, more than 8 hours in a day, you're supposed to get time and a half. You working on a holiday, that's a federal holiday, you're supposed to get double time. You work more than so many days in a row, you're supposed to get triple time. So I don't know what y'all been doing. Y'all need to file a claim for back wages because they owe you millions. And that's how I left that. They didn't ask me. I asked to work no more overtime. And the same firm was owned by these Jewish people, right? So of course, they get Christmas off because it's a federal holiday. So here they come taking off Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and all these old shits, and they getting paid. I'm like, oh, I'm Jewish now. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm as Jewish as you, and I'm taking those holidays off too. You think they stopped me? They were sitting there looking at me like I was crazy. Their asses wasn't at work getting paid. My black ass wasn't at work getting paid. It's like, if you're going to get off and get paid, why should I have to stay here? I'm Jewish today. Show is put my little that little thing on and just walk around looking all kind of crazy. And I didn't even care because I got paid. I got extra holidays. But the whole time I would work there, they never messed with me. They thought this bitch is crazy. Let's just give her a little money so she won't say nothing. And all the people was like, how you turn Jewish all of a sudden? It's like, well, can you say that I'm not? What have you ever seen me say anything about God or Jesus? When? They're like, oh, yeah, I never have. I said, exactly. So I'm Jewish. That's it. I give me my holiday pay. Shut up, can't hide. Yeah, they were so through with me. I put those people through so many changes. I tell you, it was fun now. Question number 22. This is our last question of the day. Female, 25 to 29, out of Denver. We've dated a year. We've gone on vacations, and we're planning a trip overseas for January next year, as well as planning on moving in together sometime within the next 18 months or so. Following a home purchase, me purchasing the home as the sole owner and then having him along with another couple or a few friends who move in to help pay my mortgage so it'll be cheaper rent. A few weeks ago, we were talking about the stimulus checks, and he casually mentioned he doubts he'll get one because he hasn't filed taxes in over 5 years. Red flag. I don't know if it's just me, but doing the boring housekeeping shit like renewing your tax, paying your property tax, and filing tax returns are common sense and honestly your responsibility as a citizen. He goes on to mention he probably owes the IRS money and also has been sitting on 6 figures of defaulted student loans for a degree he never finished in the early 2000s. Oh, he just spilling all the beans, ain't he? I told him how stressed this makes me, in addition to feeling betrayed and lied to, since we've been dating long enough to have taken trips together and discussed our future, and he never once mentioned any debt. I've told him I have a small amount of student loans. I paid him down since I graduated from college, but I have been forthright with him that it's a priority for me to reduce and rid myself of debt. I'm planning to be debt-free by the second quarter of next year. Deb, this man is 35 years old and I am 26. With the difference in age, it makes me feel like he's lied to me about who he is. He's never hinted at financial struggles. He takes me out to nice dinners, buys sweet gifts, and we have trips together. But we also discussed joining our lives, and this didn't come up. Basically, the fact that he just chose to ignore payments and responsibilities like loans and taxes for 10 years makes me think that's never going to change. I mentioned this to him in combination with the fact that I'm very driven to rid myself of my own debt as well as build up equity in a home. I mentioned that it felt like he lied to me and didn't disclose that information as soon as we should have. Hmm. He said I was shallow to end our relationship on something he was going to take care of in 2 to 5 years, yet could not define the plan to take care of it. With the pandemic, we're even more stuck because we really can't see each other and talk through this. And honestly, I don't know if I want to, but the shallow comment sent me over the edge. Oh, get rid of this Dusty. He's a Dusty. He's a Dusty with 6 figures or more of debt. That's why you would have to buy the house in your name and they just pay you rent. His credit's all fucked up. You don't want his name on nothing with yours because the IRS is gonna come and snatch it. So that's why you can't do that. You don't want to do that. Nothing, nothing. Don't even buy a dog with him. Nothing. And keep your money in your pocket and do what you need to do with it. But the main thing is, he's almost 10 years older than you, and you are so much further along and so much more focused and directed than this guy. He is a loose cannon and a loser. That would be the only reason why somebody his raggedy ass age is messing with somebody in her mid-20s. Get rid of this dust bucket. Find you somebody who's got more sense. This guy is a loser. All he's going to do is take you down. He's going to be like an albatross around your neck. Look at the video series. What's in it for me? There's 3 videos. You need to look at that really, really hard because when you ask yourself, what's in it for me? When a man in a situation like this, he's not even doing anything for himself. What the fuck you think he's going to be doing for you when you're doing all of this by yourself already? Let's be real here, you know. And I think that the people are like, well, it's not romantic, Deborah. That's not romantic. You know what you think being in bankruptcy court is romantic? You think getting your house sold on the auction block at the courthouse steps is romantic? You think having the shit repossessed in your driveway, the tow truck pulling your car out because you couldn't make the payments because your dusty ass husband done spent up the money? You think that's romantic? It's important, I'm not a believer in this equally yoked thing that they talk about in churches. Talking about you got to be the same religion stuff. That's not what that means. What it means is you have to be on the same page, on the same path, looking at life and how you live it, your goals, your dreams, your morals, your values, your family, values, that kind of stuff. It has to be in sync. It doesn't matter if he's Jewish and you're Christian, or he's Methodist and you're agnostic. That part doesn't matter. What matters is those two people's heart and spirits and what it is that they can do together, how they work together and how they communicate. There's nothing here for you but drama, as you can see. If you were to sign on to this, you would be giving away your life to this Dusty and helping him save money by living in your house so he can pay his bills. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get rid of him. Get away from him. You don't see him anyway, just block him. Fuck it. Just go. Just leave him alone. Well, yeah, it is. That whole unequally yoked thing. Whatever. Yeah, he's just want to be, he gonna have a whole bunch of people up there living in the house and stuff, tearing up her shit, fucking it up, making, using her stuff, making her have to buy stuff and replace stuff, and it's just a bad scene, breaking windows and all that stuff. Because you know how they are when they don't own it, they don't treat it well. They don't treat it well at all. Spilling shit on your carpet, staining it, burning holes with cigarettes and stuff. It's just, I guess, foresee a nightmare. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do it. Leave him alone. I'm telling you, if you don't listen to me, you're going to be very, very sorry. You'd be like, oh, no, I should have listened to Deb. She don't need to date no older man. She needs to date somebody who's no older than 30. Just somebody who's a young go-getter like her. There's a lot of young men like that. And he would see you and you would see him and it would be all good. You want somebody who's, just a few years older than you, not 10 years older than you, and a fucking Dusty. It's somebody in their 20s, she don't need to be dating no man, older dude. I hate them older dudes trying to get them young girls like that. Let her live her life. Let her live her dreams. Let her travel and have her feet, have feet being all fancy free and stuff and not tied down with some old ass man who's already done all that and had all those experiences. Now he just wants to clip her wings and keep her at home. That's not a good thing for young women. It's just not. And you're gonna have your little house and stuff, girl. Get your ass on some plane as soon as you can. Go someplace, do something with yourself. Enjoy your youth. Okay? Don't be trying to give it away to no man who's on the downstroke to 40. Fuck that. I don't understand that. But anyway, that's our show for today. I'm thinking, a lot of the questions that we were talking about this, a lot of the questions that come in are very short, like a one paragraph question. I'm going to put all of them in one document. And I think maybe on the weekend or next Thursday, maybe. Thursday's a good day. I don't usually do stuff on Thursday. Um, do a show like the short questions, and all the people are under the age of 30. So it'd be kind of interesting to see their little dilemmas. So I'm going to do that. I think I'll schedule it for next Thursday. I don't want to do it this week. And and see. And I'm still taking suggestions for the Sunday sermon, relationships Sunday sermon. We do not talk about God and Jesus. I give sermons on relationships, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-improvement. It's a lecture slash sermon. I do it on Sundays, and so it's called the Sunday sermon around here. Okay. So if you guys go on the community wall from the channel, the main top channel page, go on the community wall and you'll see the link to that survey, to the form, and you can just submit your ideas. If you're not sure how this show works, look at the Sunday sermon that was recently put up, and you'll see, how it goes in the basic format for the show. And, it's about, I don't know, 40, 45, maybe an hour at the most. I try to keep it about 30 minutes, though. And then, we get on up out of here. But thanks you guys for coming. Thank you everybody for coming and sitting in and hearing the Wednesday What the Fuck channel show, rather, on the Debsterism channel. I'm getting tongue tied. But I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you, Lady Boss, for coming through. You're wonderful as always. And everybody, you guys are going to have a good time. I'll see you on Friday night for the Dusty News Network. Okay? Bye-bye.